Good morning. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was just thinking about uh, a lot of scriptures. Just in my head, thinking about this, thinking about that, trying to put this together with that, this. And I come up with, I read chapters 13 of Romans. And as I read it, at the end of the chapter, it says, "But put ye on the Lord Jesus Christ, and make not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof." And I read that. And I kind of like know by heart, but I still read it, But anyway, in other words, don't do anything gonna cause you to do something stupid. That's what decides it. And matter of fact, that's anybody. That's me. I knew that when I went to this bar, I knew I didn't belong there. But I'm just gonna go in and say hi. I want to say hi to God. Let them know I'm okay, I'm around. And so I would go to the bar, talk with the guys, tell them that I'm slowing down and stop drinking. But I'm in the bar. And I'm trying to quit drinking, but I'm in the bar. So if I go to the bar, there's a good chance I'm going to hit a lick. Because think about going to the bar, you're around all your drinking buddies. You got to understand something. The reason why I would go to the white bars, because the white guys always offer me free drinks. Just the way it is. You go to the black bar, you ain't getting no free drinks. And they're going to be cut in half. You go to the black bar, they hook you up. You go to the white bar, they hook you up. And the bartenders are more apologetic. They're always sorry for something. The girls just, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spill that. I'm sorry." But anyway, I go to the bar and I stand around and talk, and I feel really good. I haven't drank in, I don't know, just say 3, 4, 5 months, and I'm feeling good. My body's feeling better. And I go there to visit the guys and see how they're doing and let them know that I, cut down on drinking. I didn't tell them to stop, but just let them know I cut down. And one of the white guys say, "Hey, Cortez, how you doing there? No, we haven't seen you in a long time. Where you been? No something." I go, "Well, I've been doing this, been pretty busy. I haven't had a chance, to come around. And why don't you get one on me? Just take one." I say, "Well, I don't know about I'm trying to quit, I'm trying to shut it down a little bit here and shut it down altogether, really. But that's okay. One ain't gonna hurt you. Come on, man. Let's go on, And I will go ahead and say, well, what's it gonna hurt? After all, I haven't drank in 3, 4, 5 months. I'm quite sure I can handle one drink. What's the big deal? So what's your poison? You gotta love that. What's your poison? What do you want? Give me a double shot of 151. And 151 in Ohio is the highest liquor content you can get. Not sure what they're doing now, but it's gasoline. And I drink that one shot, and I feel emboldened now. I feel great. I feel better. I feel like I can conquer the world. Liquid courage, if you will. And I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm not sloppy drunk. I can still drive myself home without getting a ticket or get pulled over. Well, that's risky. So I get another one. Well, that ain't hurting. I know. Before you know it, I done got 2. Now I start buying my own. And now I am tore from the floor up. But now I got to figure out how to get home. So I managed. Scared to death, but managed. Looking out for cops, but managed. Nervous, but managed. Get home, go past Amy, try to get in the house before Amy sees me. Because my wife sees me, she gonna want to say hi, she might want to hug, she gonna walk by me, she gonna smell the liquor, and there we go. So I try to get past her as fast as I can. I want to know that I'm doing wrong, you know. And sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. Now she knows. She has an inclination that I'm doing something shiesty, so there you go. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. Don't create. Do not create or walk into a situation that's going to cause you to fall. Whether you're in church or not in church. It don't make a difference who you are. It don't make a difference whether you go to church or not. The point is, whoever does something that's going to cause them to falter or mess up, it's going to be inevitable. You are going to a place where things don't go right when you do the wrong thing. Okay, like me. If there's a female that wants prayer, she says, Cortez, I need you to come down to my house. I need some prayer up in here. You know, on Friday, some prayer up in here, Let's say that I Sunday morning, she says, do you know how to do plumbing and whatever? And you know, I know how to do that. So, and a man knows, like women know. We know when somebody is trying to give you more than what you go for. So the smart thing would be then, if you're married, bring your wife with you and see what she wants done. That kills that. Okay. If you're not married, then you can take it upon yourself to see what she wants. And if she seems to be somewhat flirtatious, you can back out of it by doing the right thing, see what she wants done, and do the job and get paid and get out of there. You know, but when you're married, it's a difference. You know, because married men are more. If you're married, that means you're stable. If you're stable, it means you're paying bills. If you're paying bills, that means you're working. And if she don't have a man, and she see that you have some qualities that she likes, then you end up doing more than what you're supposed to do. And things don't go, they don't go right. It don't make a difference. The situation is, don't go by an area that you know it's going to be some trouble. Now look, watch this. If there's a party at 2:30 and the women are twerking in the hood, and you're going to go down to the hood just to see how things going, you know, you want to go down there, you see the booties, you know, you see them twerk, and you know you're not supposed to, but hey, what can it hurt? So you go down there, before you know it, you all up in the mix, dancing with the women, and gunshots start flying off, because you know how it is, and you catch a bullet that you wasn't supposed to catch. But you went to an area that you knew is a great possibility of some fireworks by way of guns. So don't create or don't walk into a trap that's going to set you off and have you make a decision that you would not have made otherwise. See? So it's just the way it is. You got to be careful where you go. Again, I always say, in or out of the church. If you don't go to church, it still applies to you. Be wise. Just be wise. If you just got to read the book of Proverbs, a lot of wisdom in there. And that's where any young man that do the right thing. Now, look, watch this. On a lighter note, if we do the right thing as young people do the right thing and get a viable education, because they know if they do this now, then they'll be all right later, for the most part. Now, let's say that a young man goes to school, get an education. He's more apt to be hired than a person that took his educational time not serious. He did not, he went to school, again, looking for female victims to have coitus, to get down what they get down. It's old fashioned, but coitus. And real good chance of somebody getting pregnant, and the female called him, I think we're pregnant. Well, it ain't mine. You slept with Joe Rockhead, Willie Lump Lump, Tyrone, you slept with all these guys, and you don't know who the baby is. Now you're pregnant. You spend your whole youth sleeping around. Nowadays, age of 13 now. As a matter of fact, my wife and I know somebody got pregnant at 11, had a baby at 12 on Diana Avenue, west side of Akron. Couldn't believe it. And you get younger and younger now. So when you spend your time walking into traps and allowing this to happen, allowing that to happen, as you get older, now you don't have the ability to choose what you want. You got to take whatever you can get by way of a husband or a boyfriend or whatever. So that's what happens when you make wrong decisions. You pay later. You play now because you have the looks. You're young, you're viable, you got strength, and as you get older, all that stuff leaves you. Just keep living. You'll find out all that good living, all that. When people get older, most people change, and when you do the right thing, and you find somebody that you like to be with at 18, 19, 25 years old, you want to make a family, and you do, and you kept yourself decent, you didn't sleep around, and it's more popular to sleep around than not. As a matter of fact, if you sleep around, you get more praises from your peers than if you didn't sleep around. You are called a square. Then I will be a square then. I mean, in most cases. So, and again, if you read the book of Proverbs, it tells you all this stuff. It tells you how to behave yourself as a man and woman in your youth. The book of Proverbs, if you read the whole entire book of Proverbs, right, it's smack in the middle of the Bible. If you read that, it's next to Psalms. You read the whole book of Proverbs. I think it's about, like, if I'm correct, it's 28 chapters. If you read it, you will find out a lot about doing the right thing. And if you are, let's say you don't go to church and you spend your youth getting pregnant, getting diseases, going out with guys you don't know, all kind of stuff, smoking cigarettes, weed, all that crap. When you get older, about the age of, let's say, I'll put it at 30. You're 30 years old, you have 2 kids, like two different fathers. Just tell the truth. Now you say, I think at this point, I want to stop being stupid at the age of 30. Now I want a real man. I slept around with half the city, but now I want a real man. Real man ain't coming. It's going to be a lot harder to find somebody you like than not, because you spent your years in the streets as a young lady. And word get around. Oh, word gets around. And just the way it is. So you're less likely to find a man you want because of the seeds you planted in your early life. If you went around shooting people as a young man, and let's just say you kill someone or maim someone pretty bad, or kill them, whatever. No idea these days. Kids don't fight no more. They're cowards now. Everybody want to shoot everybody. You go to court. You're in front of the great white man or black man, but you go in front of the judge. Now you shaking like a crap game. Now you scared. Now you got to do 10, 15, 20 years in prison. You get out when you're 40 years old. You take a high gamble of getting a good job. The chances are you won't. But even if you do, it's a blessing. But most likely, it's unlikely for you to get the job that you want, because you spent your time in prison and you was not able to get that type of job you want. You're not able to be a doctor, a lawyer, a technician of some sort, high-tech jobs, if you will. They don't offer that in prison. Okay, they offer more or less manual labor type jobs. So you have to, you can bounce back, but it's not guaranteed. It's not likely. So you spend all your time as a young person running the streets, male or female, and now you're at an age where you need a good job, you're trying to start a family, you might have to pay for all that dirt you done. But then you have a guy that don't go to church, and let's say that during his younger years, he didn't know it, but he was actually walking in the book of Proverbs, but he didn't know it. He didn't read Proverbs, but he got an education. He learned how to submit to authority without being taken to the ground, all beat up. He obeyed his parents or parent. He did all he could do to do the right thing. And as he grew up, he said, I'm going to buy a house at the age of, let's say, 18, 20 years old. And he does, because he had a job. He's been working the whole time. He's in school. And he get the down payment. It was rough, but he did it. Now he's working a job, paying the house off. Let's say he's getting married, have a couple kids, and within so many years he's doing great. He can get an early retirement if he wants to. See, but when you act a fool, you're going to end up at one of those Section 8 houses, or, you're going to end up at a place that you'd rather not be. But you sowed those seeds when you were younger. Now that you're older, it ain't too late, but it's not likely to be successful if you sow all those negative seeds as a young person. And I sold a lot of them. To my hard head, I put the head in the hard head. I was pretty rough. Now, I wasn't what you call violent. I was just kind of like sneaky, thieving, stealing, racing cars, tearing people's cars up, lying, stealing. I was horrible. And but I had a trade behind me when I was younger, a very good trade. So I was able to bounce back. But everybody can't do that. So to this day, I have to work more than what I would like to. But you do what you can do to stay ahead when you do the wrong thing. When you do the wrong thing, you're going to have to put out more hours, labor, than you would if you had to do the right thing. And that's just the way it is. I know a young man that was in the city bus. My car broke, my van broke down. It was getting fixed. and I had some contracts around Akron. And the young man was in the bus. He was laid out, nice clothes, pretty big guy. And he had a bunch of women around him. They liked him. But he was staying with his mother because he's nothing but, 15 years old, 16 years old. And he made fun of me because I was going to work. In the clothing I had work clothes on. And I said, okay, instead of me getting mad at him or getting upset, big easy child, what do you want? But he had a good time laughing at me. So I said, okay, I'm going to do something. And if he can do this, I'll shut up. So he kept making fun of me in the bus as he was going to school. The kids were going to school because I had to take the bus to work. I said, I'm going to write down some numbers, and I want you to let me know what the number is. So I'm a mathematician. So I wrote down, I think it was 44.57. So I asked the young man, give me, I want you to take this decimal problem and I want you to solve it. I wrote it down for him. He looked at it. I said, a pair of tennis shoes cost $44.21. Arbitrary number. And I didn't tell him that. I just wrote the numbers down. And he sat back there in the bus, all the women around him, young ladies around him. And he was saying, these shoes cost $44,426. I said, you're in school, right? You say you're in the 10th grade, something like that. Yeah, I'm in 10th grade. I'm in 10th grade about it. Well, if you're in the 10th grade, you don't even know your decimals yet? Let me ask you a question. Can you even read? Now he's mad. He's mad. Because number one, he couldn't read. He couldn't read and write hardly at all. And he knew no math. None. And now he's mad because the truth came out that he is, I call it FOB, Future Bums of America. That's when young people act a fool in school, fight, start riots in school, fight the teacher in school, don't know how to read and write, just want to show up, smoke weed in church, in the bathroom, in the school, get sent home, don't go to school half the time, and as time goes, the mother don't feel like fighting with him because she don't have time, and she's halfway ratchet, so she like, whatever, I just take care of my baby when he get older. But then the mother goes into bad health. Now he's older, he's 18 years old. She can no longer take care of him. Now he wants a woman, so he get a couple girls pregnant and move in with him, and he makes any wrong move, he's got to go. Situation like that is not good. So he used to mama taking care of him. So as he gets older, he wants to find a mama. So he find one of them girls from Section 8, moves into their place, go outside, smoke weed with his friends, come in, play the games on the system. His girlfriend, she's on Section 8, but she has a small job. She goes to work, and he takes her to work. He doesn't have a license, but he takes her to work and comes back home, play the game, go over other people's houses while she's at work, and then it's time for him to go get her from work. He don't show up to about half an hour later, and she's mad, like they fighting. See all this mess? Wow, way too crazy. That's what happens when you sow seeds of deceit when you're younger, and then you get older. Now you got to pay for it. See, I'm telling you, man. I know people that are Christians now that act a fool they was young, and now even they're paying the price. I don't care if you do go to church. If you spent your youth acting a fool, God's not obligated to get you out of that mess. If God does, that's pretty good. But in most cases, when you sow the seeds of deceit, And sexual pleasures, when you're young, you pay for it when you get older. Just the way it is. Just the way it is. So the best thing to do, learn how to survive now. Learn how to read and write now. Do all your math. Go to college. Trade school. Now trade schools are so popular, and the reason why, because a lot of the young men now are not physical. A lot of them are just kind of soft, because they're not equipped like we were back in the day. We worked hard. So the new generation is not, it is what it is. They're not physical. They just don't want to be. Now you got some that are, most of them are not. They want to be expert in the game society. They want a white collar job, but they don't have a white collar education. They're in a blue collar, okay, and either blue collar or labor. You know, I'm just saying now you got a trade. It's still blue collar, but some blue collars get some. If you're an electrician, carpenter, plumber, if you take those jobs, but again, even if you're able to get a job like that, you got to take your youth and learn all you can about plumbing, electric, and carpentry as a young person, and learn everything you can about those trades. You get older, you can get licensed a lot faster. You still have to go to school to get the up-to-date education, but you're gonna make a good living. Yes, you are. But when you spend all your time, your pants down, tricking girls and getting them pregnant, smoking tweeds, drinking, and partying now you're 18, and where you at? At McDonald's with your pants down, serving burgers and cold fries. And now you're mad. You're mad, and you're mad at God too, like just with nerves. It was you that did all that. You did all that deceit. Now you're paying for it. So be careful where you walk, where you tread, because it's going to mean something when you get older. With that, I'll see you guys next time.